Yeah, hey, Nicole. So we spent a lot of time here in the El Paso sector, which includes this New Mexico portion in Sunland Park. And just over my shoulder here, this is an area that every time we were down here, cartel operatives were sitting up there quite literally taunting us, waving at us. But now they're not having that much success. They're still trying to move people into the country illegally, but they're not able to do it very well. And here's why. You see all these barriers, and look at this. As far as the eye can see, we have Border Patrol and DOD down here fortifying the southern border. So yeah, the cartel isn't making the money that they used to be making. And we got to look from the skies too that were assisting the agents on the ground in their deterrence efforts. And look at what we saw while we were down there. Two different smuggling crews were attempting to breach the barriers using ladders. So we saw one duo retreat. They stashed their ladder behind a storm drain there. And then moments later, we saw a group of 4 attempting to use a ladder. That one had hooks on the top. That's to get up and over the wall. But their strategy was no match for the manpower on the ground and in the air. And the show of force really seems to be working too, because those numbers there, the 2,700 in a single day down to about 60. And Border Patrol says that migrants are actually turning back on their own because there's such a deterrence on the U.S. side. But that also means the cartel isn't making its money and there's more threats being lobbied towards the law enforcement on the ground.
The threat of violence is always in the back of your mind, but you know, by maintaining a constant presence out here, you can pick up on those little changes and those little cues that can maybe keep you informed of like what changes may be coming. So I mean, you don't ever let your guard down. So I mean, do I think about it? Absolutely. Is it going to change the way we do our job? No, we're still going to be out here enforcing the laws.
It's a positive, because this is what we signed up to do. This is the oath we took when we came into office, you know, to protect the Constitution, protect our nation's borders against enemies, foreign and domestic. So for us, it's a proud moment to gain operational control of our nation's borders.
All right, Nicole, saying they can finally do their jobs again down here. And the reality is, while it's slow down here, law enforcement say they are not letting their guard down, because it's not if, but when they believe the cartel will strike again. So they are always at the ready for whatever the cartel is going to bring. Nicole?
Yeah, I was really shocked when you said that those cartel operatives were kind of taunting you and the crew out there. Allie, so we know that Governor Abbott has been expanding the wall down there. Are you seeing any of that new infrastructure?
Yeah, so what's interesting, let's show you here where the wall ends. This is what's been exploited by the criminal cartel for years now. People were quite literally running right through this gap and right in front of our cameras. But as you can see, there's this vehicle barrier all the way up this ridge. Chris, let's go up this hill here and show them. So this is to stop vehicles, ATVs, any kind of SUV, you know, motorcycle, anything trying to bring in any body or any drugs illegally. So this has really stopped that activity. And when we were down here last time, it was really interesting. Not only are active duty military down here, but President Trump, he's calling for zero crossings. And that's what we're seeing right now. The southern border is really being fortified with Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks barreling towards this Operation Control, using what they're calling high visibility. It's really an about face from the previous reactionary stance. And as I mentioned, we were down here in November, right after President Trump won the election. Check out what we saw then. We actually encountered 3 men in all black wearing backpacks. They were right up on top of that hill. And then we turned around and there was a man on the Mexico side who popped up and quite literally flashed his rifle at us. And sources say he was likely scouting and guiding those 3 men that we saw that entered illegally. Border Patrol was not around when this all happened. So as you can see, this is pretty well sealed off, pretty fortified. And with that posture that they're taking now, it's this very proactive stance, Nicole, which is completely different than what we saw in the past, where they used to wait until they would cross over and then they would apprehend them. President Trump says, we want no apprehensions. We don't want them crossing at all. So you have this posture happening along the southern border right now. And yeah, we haven't seen a single person cross here since we've been here. The cartel, they're no longer up on the ridge right now. So a lot has happened. And it seems that what they're doing down here is working. But again, they're not letting their guard down because they do expect things to pick back up down here.
Yeah, lots of changes down there. All right, Allie Bradley, thank you. And make sure to watch Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, a NewsNation special report, Crisis on the Border on the Front Lines. It's hosted by Brian Enton and Allie Bradley, with reporting from Jorge Ventura. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.